questions to ask throughout a campaign with the confidence rising. I told WDF don't switch, good times are coming on for deep diving. Fan cams, reactions, watch along, still the pride of London thriving. The Eagles of South, they flying. Keep your eyes on us, we ain't hiding.
Can you hear me?
You're bare quiet now.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're good now.
All right, cool. Because I made sure I clicked unmute myself because I always need to start and they're like, you're muted. Anyway, guys, Premier League football is back. I'm so sorry. Look at my eyes. I am shattered. But listen, we're still here to bring you back to Palace news. JC, how's it going?
Yeah, I'm good, man. Looking forward to this game. Still gutted I can't go. But, there's just not enough tickets, unfortunately. And it is what it is sometimes. Same thing in Bournemouth. I've only ever been there once. And I've tried to go there every year to win the Premier League. So, but football's back. I can finally have an excuse to... I won't speak anymore. Yeah, I can go to football again. And
you don't know what you're talking about.
And I'm just happy for football to be back. I hate international breaks. Couldn't care less for England. I know Mark got some minutes, but other than that, I have no idea what happened. And Palace is back, and I think it's going to be a good game. I think even though people think that we're going to walk all over Luton, we're not. I'm just going to say that now. We're going to have a lot of possession, but we're not going to walk all over them. We'll probably have the same amount of chances, but I'm looking forward to it. That's the only thing that matters.
Yeah. Before we obviously dissect the game in itself, by the sounds of it, and I've been, please correct me if I'm wrong, and obviously Royce Presser will be tomorrow. It seems as if we've come out of this international period unscathed. I haven't heard of any injuries as of yet. So hopefully Roy doesn't come up tomorrow and be like, yeah, so this person and that person. But as it stands, it seems like all right.
As it stands right now, the only injuries we have in the entire squad of the first team is Jez, Tompkins, and Henderson. And if you look at our injuries from literally a month ago, it's night and day.
100%. And it's just good because obviously that was one of the big concerns. The last international break, I think 5 or 6 players got injured.
And some key players as well. Like Lerma was out. Gore was out for a little while as well.
It was a big problem. But yeah, let's talk about Luton a bit. And obviously you and Dan covered them very well yesterday during Tactical. As you said, this is not going to be an easy game. No. I know there's potentially going to be loads of fans out there saying, we should batter them, this and other. Listen, their home form is very decent. It is very decent. Kenilworth Road is very narrow as well. I think just looking at it, the crowd is like situated so close to the pitch as well. It's kind of like it gives old Everton vibes. In the sense of how close it is, like similar Goodison Park. They're going to make a load of noise. It's going to be a cauldron. And you've got to think about some of the teams that have gone to Kenilworth Road, the likes of Tottenham and Liverpool. And they've matched them. They've played very well against both teams. Granted, they do give away a lot of chances. Granted. But they never seem to be out of the game, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Whether that's down to the poor finishing from because I know Spurs could have been easy 2-3-0 up within the first 15. Liverpool were missing open goals and stuff. So that could play a factor. Yeah. But like I said, they're a team that will always be in the game. We have to be clinical. Because they will create chances. And funny enough, They create chances in a variety of ways. Their main one is obviously the counter, as you saw against Liverpool. That goal that Chong scored was brilliant. You know, they just broke with pace, and I think it was like 4 players, like, you know. However, they can also chuck in there, listen, we're going to clip it into Morris. And Morris is a nuisance.
And Ogbene. And Ogbene.
Yeah, and hopefully, if you're right as well, obviously with your tactical analysis, if Ogben is playing more of like the 10 role, because they normally play the kind of like 2, like a Christmas tree sort of formation.
Mm-hmm. Like a 3-4-2-1 kind of thing.
Hopefully, he doesn't go out wide. I pull up 1-on-1.
Oh, you saw that part I was talking about where he just kicked it past Trent and just ran.
Because I was watching that game anyway. He gave Trent a torrid time. A very, very torrid time. You know? So, yeah. Listen, we have to be on point defensively. Funny enough, it sounds mad because we lost. But if we pull up a performance like we did against Everton, but just put the ball in the back of the net, I think we'll do okay. I think we may even get a 2-goal margin. But can we repeat that? Because I think our game against Everton, I think we played well. Like, on the ball going forward, we were good in patches. Like, I look back at the highlights, I was like, I didn't realize actually how many chances we had. You know? It's just obviously defensively it was bad. You know? So, I don't know. What's your thoughts on what I said regarding Luton? Is it any different to what you shared yesterday?
I mean, I think we have to talk about the inevitable, and that is Andros Townsend's going to score. I don't care what anyone says. That guy is scoring his 1 worldie a season against us, so you can count Luton to have at least 1 goal. But I think that with how they play, how they get the fans, really get behind them as a team, they're going to be a hard team to beat. Granted, they've got different types of, like, they've got different ways of scoring goals. Morris, I'm going to pause myself before I even say anything, but his heading ability is crazy. But just the fact that he can get a shot on target from nearly anywhere in the box, that's something even teams in the top 6, they actually need a striker like Morris. Like, you see that goal he scored against Everton, the first time finish off the cross. That is an incredible finish. And that is something that every team in the Premier League wants. And they have it. Granted, it could be a thing of, oh, this is such a big opportunity for me, I'm going to do my absolute best, and then he'll be rubbish next year. But right now, he's really one of the most informed strikers in the league. And the thing that I think you completely glossed over was the reason why they don't concede that many goals is because their goalkeeper is having a season of his life. Genuinely, he's probably one of the runners-up for like signing the season because he's a brand new signing as well. The goalkeeper. They got rid of their goalkeeper from their playoffs. And one thing that we need to remember is Hodgson's record against teams in the bottom 10 is incredible. However, Crystal Palace's record against teams that have just been promoted is useless. I can just think of Huddersfield straight off the top of my head. We got battered 4-0 at home against them. And Zaha got injured. They're going to be a very, very tough team to beat. However, they are in a bit of an injury crisis right now themselves. I think they've got 10 injuries. I think 3 of them are potentially ready to come back for this game, but they were pretty bad injuries, like an ankle and a knee and a hamstring. So I doubt that they'd start or play. But the big one is their right back. Potentially, he got taken off on international duty. I can't remember what country he plays for, but it was an African country.
Is it Burkina Faso, I think?
I think that's it. But he got taken off. Obviously, there's loads of speculation, so I'm not going to give you facts that I don't know. But when he was taken off, he was a bit wobbly. And
yeah,
I don't know whether it's just fatigue, whether it was just hot and he just dehydrated or whatever. If that's the case, he's probably going to play. However, if it's something more serious, which people are saying is happening from in the knows, but I don't trust them anymore after what Fabrizio done to me about Elise. And Ornstein, you're a pagan as well. But yeah, if he's missing, that's going to be such a huge blow for them. Granted, he is useless at defending, but the fact that he's so good at going forwards, he's like a winger. He's like a whole nother winger. Like, imagine Townsend and then having another winger to overlap Townsend to do all the stuff that Townsend can't really do anymore. It's a very deadly right-hand side if he plays, but if he doesn't and they play Doherty on the right, then all that chemistry is going to be all over the place, and potentially we could get some love out of that side. And the reason I say that is because with the certain players that are back for us, let's say, Ayew is going to be playing on that left wing in this game. He's not going to be playing on that right wing. So wing setup, so a left-sided setup of Ayew and Mitchell. Bear in mind, Mitchell's been very good at overlapping, and he's been struck by the Vieira curse. We talked about this in Tactical, but Mitchell's back. Just the same as Eze's back, because that guy got me thinking that Eze was finished, but you can see what's happening now. But with those two on that left side, and with a very mismatched left side, I feel like it's going to be one of the places which we should target. And then also on the other side, we've got Elise coming back, and I would hazard a guess that he starts because he played 20 minutes against Everton, and now he's had an extra 2 weeks off. Yeah. I'm just hoping, but I'm looking forward to the game. It's going to be a hard game. I predicted 2-1 in Tactical, and I'm still sticking with it.
So I had to pause there because I can hear Steph goes, go to bed and stuff. So if I have to dip out, daddy duties. But yeah, you know what? I guess there are no Luton fans here, so we'll try and create our own combined 11. And then afterwards, we will probably talk about what our starting 11 should be, which I think will be the same, to be honest, and discuss why. And then we could pretty much open the phone lines, I guess, because Roy had some interesting words in the week. And we need to discuss it. Initially, I was like, one had one view. I've been brought back kind of like I'm on both sides now. I had to really listen to the audio to kind of gauge that.
I think that the clip that went around left out so much context.
Yeah, that's why I had to go back and listen to it.
Because if you watch the whole thing, I get what Hodgson's saying, and I don't have a problem with what he's saying at all.
That's bomb. But look, I mean, yeah, we'll discuss that as well in a minute. But combined 11. All right. I think we need to throw in the Luton players first.
I think the easy one is Morris.
I thought the easier one was Rene.
Over Ayew? Well, okay. I think, are we both in agreement with Morris? Because I think that Edouard's not even going to question Morris right now.
I mean, I know Morris has been a nuisance, but Eddie's bagged though. Morris got one goal?
No. Morris got more than that. Let me... Damn. Hearing a bit of a madness going on over there.
Yeah, let me go sort that out.
All right, while you do that, I'll go and find the... Morris... Close. 3 goals, 1 assist. I'm going Morris up front because certain players are injured for them right now, so I can't put the right back in there. So Morris in here. I'm putting the keeper in, so I'm putting the keeper in. And granted, I want Johnstone in there, but I don't actually see more Luton players coming in here. Purely because I'm not a Luton fan, so I don't actually know who is and who isn't their better players. I'm looking here and I'm really struggling. I think it's Chong or Ogbene or Adebayo. What are we thinking in the chat? Because I don't see, because if I'm sitting here saying the right back is injured. What do you think? Or do you think we should just say no, give them the right back and make the rest of the team easy for us?
No, we got to keep it. We got to keep it as if he's the way that they've reported it, he's out.
Yeah.
It will be great for me personally. It will be criminal to play him if it's what has been reported.
Yeah.
You know?
So
he's out.
I'm sitting here thinking even their left back would play right back. But they have when they do switch to a 4 at the back, Mengi does play at right back. It's a 3 at the back, but when they switch to a 4, he goes to right back. So do you want to do that?
Do you know what's mad? The only other place I was thinking was Marvelous Nakamba.
Ahead of Lerma or
But then it's
Decore.
not. Yeah, that's where I'm struggling. Where it's like actually there's Lerma and Decore, but he's been one of their better players.
Like I'm really dying not having Johnstone in there.
Oh snap! Yeah, because we have to put 3 players in it.
Yeah,
So we're gonna have to lose out somewhere.
and I think because
who's the right back anyway?
Kapore.
Who else can play there? Just stick them there.
That's what I was saying to you. I was saying Mengi plays there sometime.
The action. Yeah. Put him in then. Yeah, because they normally play 3-5. It's a 3, like a weird 3-4-2-1 or something, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a bit of a weird one.
And that'll be interesting because like Edward up against 3 centre backs. So we're gonna have to. Everything's gonna have to be from width.
Pretty much. But I would, in my opinion, I think that Eze and Elise could break it down without much difficulty. And then AU. Now that's a decent team. It's not the best, but it's decent.
That was hard to do, you know.
Now I know how Man City fans feel trying to get all their players in and still get our ones in.
Yeah, that is tough. What would our 11 be?
You literally just change Morris for Edward, goalkeeper for Johnstone, and then that for Ward, no?
Yeah. You know, I've been an advocate of Chris Richards can't play right back here.
Because he can't.
I think I'll still try him just this one kick because Bunny is rapid.
You know what? I would actually play Holding there instead because he actually did play right back for Arsenal quite a bit. And granted, at Arsenal he got spun up and everyone was laughing at him on Twitter. But surely if you're right back and you get selected to start for Arsenal, you should be at least good enough to be backup right back at Palace, no? Surely.
I'm just this.
But as you say, Richards does have more pace.
Yeah. Because what I think's what's going to end up happening. Well, I mean, it's a good thing Decore is back. Decore is literally.
Well, I would say that the best way to solve the right back issue temporarily is to put Anderson there and then stick Richards in the middle because Anderson plays right back for Denmark. But I don't want to break up that partnership.
Yeah. I you know what? I think it's worth the risk. If it means we just do this until
Because
January,
against Burnley, we saw it. Anderson was pulling out right all the time because of
yeah.
Koleosha.
I will say that's what we should do until the January transfer window. Just start Anderson right back now, and go Richards and Gay centre back.
Because I was sitting here thinking, you know what, yeah, the Henderson thing got me mad again, and I'll tell you why. Yeah. To be fair, I think I'll make you mad as well by saying this.
Go on.
Deep this year, we spent 20 million on Henderson. Yeah. We're already upset about that. How much did Galatasaray want for Bowie? 20 million, and we said no, it's too much. It got me mad again earlier, Rich. I was fuming in the server room today, Rich. I apologize, but it was bugging me today, and I had to say it on stream today. It was bugging me badly.
Bro.
In the same window.
We could have got Iheanacho and Sinistera for that same car, the same price. Maybe even 3 of them. Maybe and Max Aarons as well. Add that.
Max Aarons.
So that's 20 million.
Max Aarons had a stinker so far this season.
He has. Well, listen, we can't be critiquing right backs right now.
Well,
oh my gosh.
Well, I'll say this to you, yeah. If Wan-Bissaka declares for Congo, yeah, his price goes in half. No more English tax.
God.
Imagine that. We sold him with English tax and we bought him back for no English tax. That is crazy.
Listen, if the rumors are true that we're looking to get this deal done in January, I'll be so happy. Now, let's just say we don't get the left winger, but we get Aaron Wan-Bissaka and we get another striker. Just those 2 players. I don't think I'll be mad.
Ayew will do the job until the end of the season.
Yeah, 100%. Ayew can play left wing.
And then even if it's desperate, Eddie can play there. And even potentially Eze can play there as well, if you want to put Francer in the middle. You've got cover. Cover. I'll put that in quotes because it's not very good cover, but it's still, you've got cover out wide. Up top is all our problems. I don't want to see that bald-headed guy ever on the pitch again. I'm not going to lie to you. Until he grows his hair back, I don't want to see him in a Palace shirt.
I speak. And just on the Francer thing, listen, I know a lot of people might be getting a bit mad that he's only doing like under 20, but you know what? He's getting fitter and he's getting physical. He's getting stronger. He's understanding.
Right now, all these people saying we spent 20 million on someone he should play. He ain't strong enough.
No, but these games that he's had against like Stevenage and Wimbledon, they've helped because remember, down in the lower divisions, they're not about trying to play ball. They're trying to
kill you.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So there's been benefits to him playing in those games, you know. But obviously, at the same time, let's just say hypothetically, he was to get like a good 30, 40 minutes regularly in the first team. He's playing with better players, you know, and I'm sure he would adapt to that as well.
I'd be very happy if the sub in the games would be Eze comes off, you rest him, and then you put Francer in his
depends on the scoreline.
That's what I said. I'd like it to be because I know it's not going to happen. Because what's going to happen is what they're going to do in the what they're doing for him in the youth team. They're playing him in the youth team. He's getting experience. He's getting stronger. But they're just forcing this brother to play left wing, and he just ain't a left winger. Just let it die. He's an attacking midfielder, a central player, maybe even a second striker. That's what he is. He ain't no winger. So stop trying to force him there. Eze can play wing. If you need someone to play a wing, put him there. He's older. He's more mature. He's tough enough. He's strong enough physically. He can do a job out wide when Francer cannot. So just play Francer.
I mean, to be fair, now that Elise is back, we can literally do Ayew and Elise anyway. So if Francer needs to come on, if the scoreline's good enough, we can rest Eze, like you said. or worst case scenario, take off Ayew, put Eze on the left, and put France in the 10. Like, we don't have to force him out wide now.
Yeah. For example, Elise could come on. I could come off because he's just come back from injury. Elise could come off. Ayew goes right, Eze goes left, France in the 10.
Yeah. Or if Eddie's not pulling up any strings, Ayew goes up top. Ebbs left.
Yeah.
And France in the 10.
It works.
Yeah.
The only person that can't play. It's funny because there's only one person out of that front, that three, that can't play anywhere other than his position. That's Elise. like Eze and Ayew can play pretty much along the whole of that three.
Yeah,
but Elise just can't.
Yeah, he tried the cam. It wasn't like Reading season.
He flopped against Stoke in the cup. I remember that. That was painful to watch.
But the thing is, we knew that after 10 minutes, we're like, yeah, this ain't working.
The thing is, he's so left-footed, he can only pass out to the left. But, the phone lines are open. I'll put the link in the chat, so if you guys want to come in and have a quick convo, we can do that. Because clearly unfortunately, there's not a lot to talk about. We've just been waffling about France for the last 5 minutes.
Obviously, we got Royce Presser tomorrow, so we'll be live then, and we'll dig deeper into some of the comments that Roy will say regarding the game. I just hope we just come with a good attitude. I think if we do, we'll get the 3 points. With the Luton game, I'll be completely honest with you. I don't care how we play.
Just win.
I just want to win.
I generally don't. Same thing as Burnley. Don't care how we played, but we won.
We've just got to win. We have just got to win the game, honestly. Because after that, it's is it West Ham, Bournemouth? No, it's Bournemouth, West Ham. No, wait, is Bournemouth or West Ham beforehand?
I think it's West Ham first. I think it's West Ham, Bournemouth.
And then Bournemouth midweek. Yeah.
Yeah, so me and Dan have had a conversation, and potentially we're not going to do a tactical at all for Liverpool, purely because we don't see Klopp getting sacked anytime soon. However, Bournemouth's manager could change between this game and the next game, so we could have a bit more to talk about in the second Bournemouth one. So there won't be a tactical for Liverpool. But you know how Liverpool works. They kick it long to Salah and he cuts inside and he does a madness. And Núñez fluffs about 1 million chances and then scores a screamer. So that's Liverpool for you.
No, for real. Let's have a few comments and then we'll actually start talking about Roy's recent comments.
Yeah. Big up Louis. Big up Chairman. Big up CM. Big up Tim. Don't forget to drop a like.
I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you there. I know you really wanted to say something and you didn't.
Say what?
You used to big up CM and you kind of smiled.
No, you know what I was actually thinking? I was actually thinking that this guy never comes into our streams when we're going live. So just seeing him here is a bit mad.
No, you know what? CM drops a message in bare late, so you know when we stop going through comments, CM's there. Don't worry.
Big up CM. If you guys haven't seen the rap battle, I'd highly suggest you go and watch it. I won't tell you who the winner is, but it's a really good watch. Dan said he's watched it today, and he's probably trying to catch up to Rich's 4 times watching it.
7.
Damn, 7 hours. Are you mad? Okay, that's a bit no life, I can't lie to you.
It was too funny.
Yeah. CP23, all our gents. Luton are a decent team. Let's not forget they almost beat Liverpool, but we need 3 points to turn the mood around. Has been dreadful, especially of late at home. It's been dreadful at home, but it's actually been all right away. So this is an away game. So let's hope for the best in that one. Hey JC, did you fly a Jamaican flag when they beat Canada? Of course. Why do you think it was different? I had to put it back again. Big up Damo, big up Tim. I need a good performance from the US performances were dreadful. No game time for Richards either, or even for the US. No game time.
Wow.
Remember when Bro in his conference was saying the US is an outlet for him, and now there's no outlet. Sam,
Wow.
is he injured or
You can sense he's annoyed with the lack of minutes.
Oh, of course.
You know? And even with that, there's rumors about him potentially going PSV on loan or something.
Yeah, I've seen that. I think it was Gladbach, not PSV.
Gladbach now. Okay, fair enough. But yeah.
Tim, I can see him in the back, but we'll bring him in after. Well, actually, no, we'll wait on this one and we'll let Tim answer it himself. So I'll star that. Lack of play time, didn't trust his form. Big up Pat. Yeah, Henderson's at L. Paris said we got interest in loan targets in January. How much you want to bet that interesting guys we're going back for Ekatike again? I guarantee.
Loan to buy. It's a guaranteed loan to buy.
Loan to buy, and we're buying him over like 7 years or something.
Yeah, like that. But I don't care. I want a right back and a striker, and I'll keep quiet.
Damo saying that League One, League Two is France's level. No, he is quality. You just have to give him a chance.
Give him time. Trust me. From what I've seen for when he's played the 21s, he's a step above. Like
Tim here again, but we'll discuss that with him. In a sense, use their tactics. Ian Dan said discuss. The thing is, he's a good player. He's very, 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 very similar to Eze, but I wouldn't say he's not as silky smooth. If that makes sense. He's just a little bit
diamond in the rough at the moment.
Yeah. So he'll become an Eze in the future, guaranteed. But it might take a year or two.
You watch him closely. I don't know when the 21s are. Maybe they're probably playing tomorrow. I don't know. They like a Friday game.
I'll just say watch him at Flamengo. Remember, he's a whole year younger at Flamengo as well. So
yeah, bear with him. He'll come good.
Bear with him. Tim, quickly, what's your thoughts on the Luton game?
Thoughts on the Luton game? I agree with you guys. I think it's a game you go to win. We should get real chances in this game, but they'll be tough to break down. And I completely agree with you that they're dangerous. They have shown themselves to be dangerous. And for whatever reason, that goalkeeper has just stood on his head all season. So I hope the dam breaks when we go there and we can actually get some goals. But I agree with you both. I don't expect this to be an easy game, but I am really looking forward to a full match of the bromance between Ebbs and Michael. You know, like, let's see what kind of space we can create, especially coming through the middle when those two are in sync and playing off each other, coming into attack. I can't wait to see that. That's what excites me the most. I expect a tough game, but I crave that again. I didn't know how desperate I was. And then I watched the US during the international break. And I said, I thought I wasn't watching Palace. But this was like the worst of the worst typical Palace matches. The US were dreadful. They were awful. And I don't know if you saw the Serginho Dest red card, but it was a tantrum. It was a tantrum red card. It was bizarre. So yeah, I'm looking forward to us getting back on the pitch and seeing a good performance.
It's funny what you said about the goalkeeper, because I've been raving about him so far in this show. But Dan actually hit us with a stat in Tactical at home at Kenilworth Road in the league. They've lost by only 1 goal.
Right.
1 goal is their biggest
margin. It's crazy.
Margin.
I thought you were going to say the XG stat.
Oh, the XG
JC?
is mental as well.
Yeah. Say that one again, because I don't remember exactly what Dan said, but like the XG faced is stratospheric.
I think it is like 4+
Yes.
per game, and they've only
Something
conceded
like that.
1 goal in each game. And remember
Yes.
that's
the XG of expected conceded goals is 4.
4.
Yes.
That's high.
And remember that's across the whole season. So there's maybe been games lower than that and higher than that, and they've only lost by a 1-goal margin. That is mental.
Right, that goalkeeper
yeah.
must be doing a madness.
Yeah.
He's not getting spoken about at all.
Yeah.
And if you're looking at form, you've got to say he's got to be the summer signing that's hit the ground running the best, because that is incredible to hold
XG
out.
of 4.
Yeah, it is mental.
So as long as we're clinical, we're fine. That's the difference.
And the thing is, you may say that, but you might save it.
Yeah, for clinical, it goes in.
Even if you shoot it on target, bro's still saving it. We'll go on what you said here, Tim. You're
Just
saying
before that, happy Thanksgiving, by the way.
Thank you. Cooking still to come, but yeah, there will be. Thank you. Yeah, it's happy Thanksgiving to everybody else who's in the U.S. I was watching, and they're just absolutely crap in the bed right
Correct
now.
me if I'm wrong. There's going to be NFL today, right?
Oh, there's NFL right now. So you may remember during the U.S. tour, Palace went and visited the Detroit Lions.
Oh yeah.
Right. So they're an NFL franchise, and they've been doing really well this year. And they always play on Thanksgiving. They're playing right now at home, and they're getting beat. I kind of think of them as the Palace of the NFL, because historically they are a scrappy but inconsistent and sometimes absolutely awful team. And they're doing a typical Palace today. They're getting beat on their home turf by the Green Bay Packers. So yeah, not great. But anyway, that's not important. You said here, I really like this idea, JC, because every time I've watched Richards, he can play right back, but where he really, if we want to play him up in a role on the right side to give some cover, you got to play him at right defensive midfield. He can play that. He can play that. He can be an extra midfielder, or he can play center back. If you put him out in the isolated right back role, that's not him. He looks very uncomfortable when he's done that before. And so even though he's got the pace, he's got the skill, I think Anderson can handle the role because he's done it before. And you let Richards tuck in and be who he is. His strength is in the air. He's terrific in the air. He's got terrific pace. He can carry the ball forward, but not as well as Anderson or Gay can. He's a center back. So he's a little bit, I think that's partly due to his youth. He's a little bit limited. So let the experienced guy who's done the role before, if you're going to sit Wardy, I'd let Anderson do it. And let's hope we get a right back during the winter window.
Yeah. I also think it'll be good for this game. I think that, obviously, I know that Anderson is the better out of the two centre-backs in the air, but I think I would still hazard a guess to say that I think Rich is probably even better physically than Anderson. So I think that he would probably deal with Morris slightly better than Anderson could. But granted, the passing and everything else from Anderson obviously makes Anderson a better player. But for this game specifically, I think that maybe trialling it could work, because let's be real, if it doesn't work, just put him off at half time and go back to normal again.
I've got a theory on this, and this may play a part if we keep all three defenders next season. Let's just say we get a Fonseca.
You're going to say through at the back, aren't you?
No. You know how nowadays, and this more happens with the top teams, because obviously they've got the bigger experienced coaches and so on and so forth, but the fullback tucks into midfield. So like John Stones will go into midfield for Man City.
Mitchell in midfield is a crime.
No. Just Anderson will do that role. Because if he goes at right back, he can fill in as another midfielder. Because he's good on the ball.
So then are you saying that Mitchell goes to centre back? That is a no as well.
So he'll just tuck in if need be. And then obviously once we lose the ball, we just go back into shape.
If I'm honest, I'm not a fan of changing shape like with the ball, because a team like Luton on the counter attack, if you're out of shape and you're trying to get back in shape and then defend again, it's just too long. It just doesn't work.
Yeah. You create space when you do
Yeah.
that. When you're trying to switch shape like that, you automatically, at least for a period of time, you create some open space. And if you don't close those gaps quick, you're in trouble.
And that's exactly how Wolves beat Man City this year. They literally played long ball into the space that Rico Lewis left, and they won. So if Man City don't have it on lockdown, how the hell are Crystal Palace going to do it? There's no way.
I mean, it's a creative idea. It's an interesting idea, but I think that, man, boy, does that take just a lot of time on the training pitch.
But I would agree with you to say that if Decore was injured, I'd happily put Anderson in DM and then Richards at the back. I'd happily do that though.
Yeah. But there was. Well, do you want to hit this? Because Cody had a question about whether or not Richards be sold.
Be careful how you question that, Tim.
Oh, I did it.
You asked JC if you would have hit this. Like.
Oh no! Oh yeah.
Rich, you're in the gutter. You are in the gutter, my friend.
I'm a little slow. All right,
this guy
got
over
it.
Here, in the trenches, in the absolute trenches.
But asking whether or not, so this was a big, like Cody's in the US too, so Cody's probably watching the same stuff I was watching. Boy, was there a lot of talk about how Richards needs to get a move because he's not playing. And Berhalter said that the reason that Richards wasn't getting a look during the international break, so it was Cameron Carter-Vickers. Cameron Carter-Vickers started twice alongside Ream, and he did fine. I mean, he was fine. The center backs weren't the problem for the U.S. team. It was all up front. Well, and at right back with Dest, but whatever. So
hence your Palace link. I see what you did there.
Yeah, I mean, gosh. But anyway, so
we nearly got Dest on loan. That's the mad thing about it.
Yeah, I mean, he's immature, but so the talking point was that because he's not playing and he finds himself just riding the bench, Berhalter said, he doesn't question Richards' talent. And Richard said himself, like, I come here and it's like a place where I get some peace and refresh, kind of like what Pulisic used to say. And then he didn't play. And so, and then the reason for it, Berhalter said, is that he's not playing. So I'm paraphrasing, but I don't trust his form. I don't trust his form because he's not playing. So the PSV link is that, God, I forget the guy's name, who's the American who's running recruitment at PSV right now, and he's brought in a lot of U.S. national team players. Right. So that makes it a natural target for like a loan out to PSV. I hope not. I really don't want that to happen. I think we need Chris Richards because if he goes, then our depth is Tompkins and Holding. No, thank you. No, thank you. Let's pass on that. I want Richards I get it. That is frustrating for a kid his age. And if Berhalter is telling him, you got to play or I can't play you, that really puts him in a tough spot. So I don't know what we do about that. You cannot start him in front of Gay and Anderson. You just can't do that. And so it's cup games. You hope for a run in the FA Cup. But God help us, we better not sell him alone. I hope not, but I don't know how this is going to go. There's a bit of pressure on him.
I think what I would say is that the Christmas period's coming up, and we've noticed it for the last few years. Anderson does pick up an injury every Christmas.
Yeah, gets a knock. Yep.
There or thereabouts. So that is going to be Richard's chance to maybe try and force him out of the team. Because I think if Chris Richards can play like how he played against Man United last year.
And Newcastle. Remember, he gets player of the month.
Yeah.
He was brilliant. Yeah.
I reckon if Richards can come in and play those kind of... It's going to be hard, granted. Yep. But if he can come in and play those kind of performances week in, week out, like twice a week on the mid-game weeks. If he can do that and stay fit, which is probably the key here,
Yep.
if he can play well and stay fit, I wouldn't be surprised if he puts up more of a fight for Anderson's spot.
Yeah.
And I think that it will be good if he does, because then it will give Roy a bit of a headache. Who do I pick?
Right.
What do I do here? And then we could potentially actually see some rotation coming on.
Yep.
Can I tell you which game I think will be the deciding factor?
Yeah.
Bournemouth at home. If he doesn't play that game, here's why. We'd have West Ham on a Sunday. Then I'm sure it's Bournemouth on like the Wednesday. And then Liverpool Saturday lunchtime. If he can't see any minutes in that Bournemouth game, I think that's it. I think he'll go on loan in Jan.
Yeah, because the fixtures are crowding
It's all
together, which is everything's colliding. So yeah, you would figure that's a prime spot for it. Yeah, that makes sense.
3 games in 6 days.
Right.
And bear
That
in
makes
mind,
sense.
after this Wednesday evening game, it's a Saturday lunchtime game.
Oh, I've just had a brainwave. Decore goes to AFCON this year. Maybe Anderson steps up into midfield and Richards plays then.
I mean, that's another option too.
You know who's the starter.
Yeah, but yeah, I think I'd rather Anderson to start.
I mean, I'm with you. Anything to get Richards into the side.
Think about it. That means Schlupp is back in.
No, he's gone to Ghana if he gets picked.
Yeah.
He ain't getting picked.
Ayu's gone, no. Ayu's gone.
Ayu's gone, yeah. Ayu's definitely gone.
We're finished. That's it.
Swap it with left mid again.
And then, no, they're going to play Schlupp in Decore's position. Oh, no. We'll cross that hurdle when we get there.
When we get to it.
Let's go to Tim's second comment here.
Yeah, I'm curious about this because you said he can only play right wing. Didn't he play 10 at Reading?
Yeah, but this is a new level.
Okay, all right.
But
so you think like there's no chance.
To be fair, that Reading team was absolutely blitzing the Championship up until Elise got injured that season.
Yeah.
Because they were top by like 10, 15 points. They were killing it. And then Elise got injured and then it all went downhill. So in the Championship, yeah, best team in the Championship, he does it there. But he just, in the Premier League, it just doesn't work. Because he's so one-footed, you just have to show him onto his right side and he either passes straight back or passes it out of play.
Okay.
And Stoke done that to us. Remember when we
crowded him out completely.
Somehow Gyro was the one that stepped up in that game. And I remember that goal because I said, no, don't shoot.
Yeah.
Because wasn't it like minutes before that he like took a shot and he went like to the corner flag?
Yeah, and I'm thinking, oh my god.
So yeah,
Cody is saying, do you think Richards will be sold in the next window or the summer? There's been talk about, we covered that. We need a star fullback that can both defend and run. I want Anderson to do his lob, but without possession, set up Morris. There's a lot of stuff in there, but a star fullback is probably not where we're going to want to spend our money.
No. I mean, it's got to be. If Paris is talking about
we're going all in on Ekatike.
I think so too. Yeah.
I think the only 2 players we'll look to sign, and please correct me if I'm wrong, in my opinion, are Ekatike. There we go. Right. It will be him. If we can't get him, we'll go for Iheanacho as the backup option. If we can maybe get a cheeky 5 million for that. And Aaron Wan-Bissaka. But then I think Man United are going to trigger his extension.
He doesn't have to accept it if he doesn't want to.
Ain't those extensions mandatory?
Not always.
All right.
But I know West Ham are in for him as well. But they have European football on their side, so that is probably our biggest contender.
But will they start him? Because Soufar's decent.
I think
he's not Wan-Bissaka, but
I think they would. I think it'll be rude. I think even West Ham fans can look at it and go, Wan-Bissaka's better than Kufal. Probably not in the attacking sense, but in every other way, I'd say he is.
Yeah.
Do you think is the reason you think Wan-Bissaka is available is because he will, like, this is the report I've been reading that Ten Hag has essentially said, I'm clearing house. Everybody goes in January, and that includes putting, Aaron out on sale.
I think the fact that he's also out of contract at the end of the year, that you could get him on a heavily discounted rate, and also if he does declare for Congo, that English tax gets thrown out the window, doesn't it?
Yeah. I think there's going to be a major clash because I think Ten Hag wanted to sell him last season with the hope that they'll get a new right back.
They wanted to sell him the second that Ten Hag came in.
Yeah, Dallow's his number one. Dallow's his number one right back. But then Wan-Bissaka hit form, when Dallow was injured. So it gave him a bit of a headache. But I think Ten Hag wants him gone in January to bring in some money. However, the club are not going to be like the amount it's going to be. So they're going to want to try and do that contract extension. Now, hopefully, if JC's right, say that he can reject it, then happy days. We might be able to get like a pre-contract, get him free in the summer, or just sign him in Jan. I don't know. But I think we need to go all out for it. Just bring him home.
I mean, if the only way...
It's the Palace way.
That's true.
Replace the replacement with the replacement.
Yeah. I mean, that is true. It would be, if he's out of contract, and if Man United has a 1-year option, if it's their option, then they can trigger that. So, but if it's a 1 year, if there's a 1-year option that is available to Wan-Bissaka, I guess it depends. Whose option is it? Like, is it United's option or is it the player's option? So that's interesting. So if you think that he is a target for us, I mean, there was talk that we would have to pay like in the range. What was this last summer? Something like 30 million or somewhere in there to get him. So if he's coming into end of contract, if he's in his last, let's say January, so then he's down to like his last 6 months of his contract, 10 million pounds. Is that possible? 15 million?
I would throw probably maximum 15 in January at him. Bear in mind, it is only 6 months left, but to get a player like him for 15 million is incredible if we could somehow pull that off. But I could guarantee he's going to cost another $100,000 a week, though, won't he? Coming back.
Well, he's coming. That's the problem, right? Like he's, and now you're going to have unprecedented numbers here, because right now you've got Ebbs, you've got Henderson, you've got Elise, all on $100,000 a week, and then right below that you have you got Eddie on 90, and you got wait for it, wait for this one. You know who else is on 90 a week? Come on, not playing right now. Right back, Klein.
No, he's not. He's not.
He is.
Are you sure?
Well, I'm not sure, but I have read that report, and that Klein was coming back from, because didn't he come back from Liverpool?
I've got a friend at work who actually knows Klein, and he says he thinks he's on about 40-ish. So I don't
really. Okay, that would be all right. That would be different from the reports. I'm gonna look it up, but I had seen...
I would go off of this because he used to go to school with Klein, so I would probably back what he says.
All right, fair enough. Well, that would be good news, because
he's
know that on 90K a week.
I know that before we let Luca go, he was on 80.
Yeah.
And I know that I don't know how true it is, but there's potentially talks of us looking at trying to put Mark on a new contract as well. And if that happens, he's going to be on 100 as well. You know it.
Yeah, for sure.
So we've gone from having extremely low wages and having a very good cash flow to very quickly having very high wages if this Wan-Bissaka deal happens as well.
It's going to put pressure on. I mean, if that does happen, so the practical impact of that on the team, I would say, as far as depth goes, get ready for more academy players coming into the side. For not just for the purpose of getting them time, but to just try and control the wage bill a little bit, because that's going to be new territory for us.
100%. It's a lot of money.
Right. So basically, according to reports, United do not want to give Wan-Bissaka a new contract because Ten Hag doesn't want him. Ten Hag definitely says, nah, he can go. However, they don't want to lose him on a free. So what they're looking to do is trigger the 1-year extension and then still sell him in January, because then that will boost his price. I think they're still looking for around 30 million-ish.
I mean, I wouldn't pay 30 million for him.
Yeah,
He's on
a right back, no way.
FB Ref has him on 90K a week at United right now. So yeah, it would be close enough to 100K a week.
Yeah. So yeah, I agree. I wouldn't do it either, to be fair.
We'll do a few more comments and then we'll wrap up. Pat here says that he thinks that Gyro's on 75. I doubt it. I hope not, at least.
Yeah.
Cody says agree on new striker my option would be Dennis. We've all spoken about Dennis a lot.
That's another shot. I keep forgetting about him.
Yeah, Cody said this multiple times.
I think
Dennis two-footed?
Hodgson wanted him. Yeah, he is.
Yeah,
Hodgson wanted him.
Well, hasn't he?
Hodgson wanted him when he was at Watford.
Yeah.
And I mean, Hodgson wanted him at Palace because of what he done at Watford for him.
And he can play left and centre forward as well. So.
Yeah, he can play strike and left wing as well. So that's a very good depth.
And he's getting 0 minutes at Forest at the moment. So.
Absolutely. Yeah. I don't think he's getting on the bench. I think Cho has just kicked him out completely, isn't he?
Yeah.
And then final comment here is, how did you start supporting Palace?
Oh my gosh, so I'll give you the abbreviated answer to instead of the long one, which is like when I started supporting Palace, it was a pretty difficult period of my life, and when I started in my career, even though now I'm a financial analyst, I started as a sports reporter like years ago, and I had a coach in college who was covering football. I won't call it the other thing out of respect of, where we are here, but who was our coach in the college. And he was effusive about the game. And I lost track of it for years because it's kind of tough to follow football here in the U.S. It's just not, it doesn't get the headlines, doesn't get on ESPN. You have to be deliberate about it. And so right around the time I started, when I found Palace, I started, hunting around, and I was like, man, I forgot how amazing this game is. And they were really advertising the Premier League here. And I started kind of investigating the Palace community, like here, like Eagle Eye Football, Back of the Nest, FYP. And I was like, these are my people. Like, it's not that the team thrilled me, even though I was like, I'm a sucker for lost causes, and I love me a just in
story.
In sports in general. I love me a hard-nosed, give me a hard tackle, punch you in the face kind of style of football, which is, I mean, when I started following Palace, that was us. In a lot of ways, even though we have more flair players, that's still who we are at the core. And I love that about the club, but really it was just a community. So yeah, it's been a few years, and I've gone back and watched all the history and really gotten into it, and watched some of the FA Cup finals and things like that, and some of the heartbreaks.
We don't speak about the final.
Well, fair enough. But yeah, I found, basically, I'll put it this way. I found my people. And then the other thing is that you don't get a club like Palace in U.S. sports. Like, you have a fan who's chairman of the club. You have the Homesdale Fanatics. I know that there's a debate about them right now, but you don't have that in U.S. sport. You don't really have the idea of deep-rooted community clubs where there are fans up and down the spectrum. That's not really as much of a thing in the U.S. as it is in English football. It just isn't. I can't even imagine the idea. I don't know if either of you have been to the U.S., but back in like the 1970s, the Cleveland Browns were like rooted to, that's an NFL team. They were rooted to that city. And then the owner, Art Modell, ripped their soul out and just said, I'm leaving, and went to Baltimore. And that's how we got the Baltimore Ravens. Like, that is, I can't even conceive of that in like English football. So it's just different. It gives you something that's completely alien to American sport. And I love that. I was going to say abbreviated. That was way too long.
No worries. I think the last thing that I think Rich wants to talk about is the little controversy that's going on around Roy Hodgson about what he said on what was Jim something's podcast. I can't remember his name.
5-year plan, I think it's called.
Yeah, so something that Roy said that was clipped horrendously out of context, in my opinion.
Are you talking about the Hodgson interview on FYP?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. What was the clip?
So you know what it was? Woosnam came out and he put out this whole thing on the Athletic, and basically Roy's words were, the fans should be grateful that we're in the Premier League. If you look at a team like Charlton, who obviously wanted to take it to the next level, sacked Kirbishley and now are playing in League One. So obviously I've read that and I thought, what? How are you comparing the two? Because to be fair, when Charlton had Kirbishley, they were doing very well. So the defining factor is they sacked Kirbishley and dropped.
Yeah.
It didn't stop them from spending money at the time. So obviously the issue was sacking Kirbishley. Where with us, I don't think anyone's complained about the fact that we've been in the league 11 years. I don't think I've had anyone complain about that factor. I think a lot of people have just been annoyed that they don't see that. What is the plan? What is the plan going forward? What is the next step? And I think when you look at the likes of, I think West Ham have gone down and come back up and then become European champions. Brentford have come from League 2? And they're above us in the league. The team we hate, they've come up from, I think they even came from like League 2 as well at some point, and are doing better. And I think that's all it is. It's like, for me personally, I don't want to settle for 12 each year. It's annoying. I mean, we laughed and joked about the fact that we were 11th last year, like it was like a nosebleed, But I think that was more. I think the only reason we kind of glossed over it is because we finished above Chelsea, who has spent so much money, But why can't we finish 8th or 9th? Villa have done so, and I think it's all down to the fact that we're playing the long game in this. Now, if we're going to be hyping up the academy and saying this is how we want to do this, and fair play, listen, Everton's got a point deduction. I guess we have spent wisely in some areas. Let's not go back to the 20 million on the
goalkeeper injured.
So in patches we have spent wisely, but at the same time, there was times that, for example, Vieira's first season, bad, wicked window, that first window. Yeah. The 3 windows after that, terrible. You know what I mean? So it's almost as if like you only can afford one good window. And by the evidence of what Vieira had done in that first season, it was like, listen, we were all excited second season. We've just come off the back of a semi-final in the FA Cup. We're thinking, boom, let's hit this window. I think we brought in like 2 players. if that, it's like we didn't push, and I think that's the frustration.
Yeah.
It happens even with this summer. We know we're losing Wolf, or even if we didn't know, we should have planned as if he was going just in case. And once again, we have a window which is just so underwhelming. So that's the issue. Now, like I said, I have listened to it again, and he makes some valid point up about us as a club, in the sense of, we can't go and spend stupidly. Granted, I don't think any of our fans want us to spend stupidly. Just get some better players. Listen, if all goes well with the academy, which I think that's the plan. I mean, we're back in the FA Youth Cup, which is huge news as well. If all goes well with the academy, we can have a great hotbed of players that are coming through the system. But at the same side, Parish has to make a ballsy decision and get a manager that's going to back those young players, because we're going to have to hit a bit of a lull when they're coming in to our 11. We're going to have to. But if we get it right, we're going to be a very good side. We will be what Brentford are now.
We've always had that potential, and even Parish had said that. I think, thank you for putting it in context, because the way I heard it, I listened to the whole thing. I thought it was a brilliant interview with Roy. And I agree with him wholeheartedly, but from the perspective of, and I guess because of just my job, I tend to look at all of the financials and all of the details here. And the thing that strikes me is that the risk in the Premier League now versus a few years ago is higher. And that the structural unfairness, this is what, I'm not going to get off on a rant, but I have a lot of, so I'm the only Palace supporting fan in my community of football fans here.
You got to get out there and change them.
I know. I'm trying. What I'm really trying to do is prevent new Brighton fans and trying to bring them to us. But
there's what? Why?
Because they have an absolute. They won't shut up about, especially on ESPN, about the kind of football that Brighton plays. It's really annoying. But let's not go down that path, because then I'm going to start getting heated. But
we're going to get another abbreviated story.
Yes, exactly, which is not an abbreviated, non-abbreviated story. But the thing that I think is interesting and also annoying is you do have a lot of big club fans who are moaning about different things going on in the league, and be like, look, this league is as structurally unfair as it has ever been. And the financial disparities between the top, let's call it the top 7 now, and the next 13 is more dramatic than it has ever been. So we need to do things like build the stand, and that's not even to get ahead. That's just to try and stay competitive. So in that sense, I do think Roy has a good point. On the other hand, so the way that Palace, the way I've seen them grow, the way I've seen us grow is we do a couple of things, try to consolidate, do a couple more things, try to consolidate, instead of getting too far out in front of our skis. That's the fear. And then what ends up happening is that you can't really, that is like trying to spin a flywheel. Maybe at some point, really when the academy starts spinning out players at an accelerated pace, like some of these kids that were, Floodlit Cup winners, or maybe the current crop of under 12s, and they're coming out and they're like, wow, Crystal Palace actually has a real academy. I want to be here. But that's years in the making. So in the meanwhile, we get kind of frustrated watching what we watch on the pitch. I think it's legit. The frustration's legit, and I don't invalidate it, but at the same time, I kind of get what we're doing because the risk is higher. And they're not going to fix the financial issues. They're not. They're going to pretend they will, but they're not.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah, I think that's a great place to end it here. Guys, we said that this was going to be a short one. It's probably been one of the longest ones.
Yeah,
we've
and then
done.
I showed up. Sorry, man. Sorry.
No, you know what it was, Tim? When we said it was going to be a short stream, it was more so about talking about the Luton game because we had nothing to talk about. That's why we said we'll open the lines early.
Yeah.
Now we appreciate you, Tim, as always.
100%.
And thank you for the support as always as well.
Yeah, always jumping on.
Love it. It's great. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody in the U.S. and to you guys too. Hopefully, eat good, get some rest. Up the palace, man.
100%.
Cool.
100%.
I don't think there's any need for shout outs because Tim says he doesn't do social media. So, guys,
Pick up the LinkedIn though.
100%. And pick up the LinkedIn.
Yes. Listen to the Motley Fool Money podcast. Do that. I'm on that one. We'll give you some good financial advice. I promise.
I need to tune in because I need my finances
I'm
to
not
go
gonna
up.
lie.
Guys, thank you very much for watching.
Appreciate it,
Please
bro.
remember to go and watch Roy's presser tomorrow, whenever that comes out. Is it live or is he going to do a record again?
Live because there's no other. If there's a game, I don't care. I'm just doing the presser live. So
Cool.
sometime between 7 and 7:30 tomorrow.
And then no vlog because I'm not going to be there, unfortunately. Don't think I'm going to do a watch long, so I'm going to be hungover. But I'll definitely be there for the review on Sunday. So, guys, as always, thank you for watching, and up the palace.
Up the palace.
Eagles!
Eagles.